go ahead and get started, Amber.
Recording in progress.
Hello, everyone. It is 7 p.m. on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. And this is the fall meeting of the Grafton Finance Committee. Let us do roll call. We will start online. Mark,
Mark Haddad, present.
Greg,
Aye.
Dan,
Present.
Victoria is here, Kyle,
Here.
Skip,
Present.
and Samir.
Hello.
Welcome, Samir. We're really excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So the first call to action before we open the public hearing is to reorganize the Finance Committee.
I'd like to make a motion and nominate Victoria to remain as chair for another term.
Second.
We have a motion to keep me on as chair and a second. Thank you guys very much. Do we have any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, let's vote. Mark?
Yes.
Heather, welcome.
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Maybe I should have abstained. Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much. Really excited to be chair for another year. Really appreciate the vote of confidence. Next, do we have a nomination for vice chair?
Nominate Kyle.
A second.
Second.
Perfect. We have a vote for Kyle for vice chair and a second. Do we have any discussion on the motion? Okay. Seeing none. Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Perfect. That motion passes.
Changed it up on us.
What did I do?
You did Zoom first the first time.
No.
And Zoom last.
I realized I did that. I apologize. I like to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
You should have a recall now. Make it through one vote.
Challenge the ruling of the chair.
I'm very unbridgeable. Okay, perfect. And lastly, do we have a nomination for clerk for this year?
I nominate Samir. New guy. Give him a role.
Oh boy.
Second.
Second. Yeah.
That's going to put you up in a different tax bracket.
Oh man.
He's ready for it. Perfect. So we have a motion to nominate Samir as the clerk and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll start on Zoom. Mark,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Greg,
Aye.
Kyle,
Dan.
Dan.
Aye.
Sorry. Victoria says aye. It's already been a long day. Kyle.
Yeah. Aye.
Skip.
Aye.
And Samir.
Aye.
Perfect. That motion passes. We have our reorganized finance committee for this year. Thank you all. Okay, with that housekeeping out of the way, do I hear a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to open the public hearing. No discussion is required. Mark,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Greg,
Aye.
Dan.
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle.
Aye.
Skip.
Aye.
Samir.
Aye.
Perfect. That motion passes. The public hearing is open, so we can get to the meat of this evening, which is, of course, reviewing the town meeting warrant articles. So let's get right to it. Thank you, Amber, for sending us the updated packet that was signed off by our Honorable Select Board just the previous evening. So Article 1 that we will be reviewing and making our recommendations on is the movement of the $600,000 from free cash for the municipal solid waste program.
So I can speak to that. So this was part of our budget plan in the spring, but it did not make it into the motion, even though we discussed it 100 times. So this is just us correcting what got left out of the motion.
Evan, what's the balance in free cash right now? Was it certified?
$6.8 million.
No, you can't
Congratulations.
have any.
Thank you.
I want some.
I move we support the passage of Article 1 as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to support the verbiage in Article 1 as written. Do we have any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, let's take a roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
All right, that motion passes unanimously. We will support that as written. Me being unprepared, do not have my notes set up. Okie dokie. Number dose. This is a transfer for $62,500 for bills incurred. Are there specific? Is this
Yes.
spaghetti cooking?
What's that?
Is this spaghetti cooking? Is that without your alarm?
I'm pretty sure they're doing traffic detail right now. $62,500 is for E.L. Harvey for a bill that we received after July 1. Correct, Mary?
Correct.
Move to support Article 2 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion to support Article 2 for the payment of $62,500 to E.L. Harvey. And a second, any additional discussion on the motion?
Was this like a monthly payment? They just submitted the bill late?
Correct.
Did we not accrue for it in the previous fiscal year?
We did. That's why. So
This is just the movement. This is
this is a movement. This will require a 9/10 vote at town meeting. If it comes in after, it's really technically July 15th, but we have to
Do
go
it
back to
this
town
way.
meeting to pay it. It could be literally 8 cents, and we'd still have to go back to town meeting because it's a
Yeah.
prior fiscal year.
Yeah, okay.
9/10 is fun.
Yes.
Yep. We should vote by hand so the trolls can't just.
Well, let me ask a question, Evan.
Sure.
At the end of the fiscal year, was there $62,500 left in that account?
Do you want to speak to that, Mary?
No, Mark, there was not. There
Okay.
was some money and I did encumber what I could.
Okay, because the only reason I asked that, Evan, is if there was enough money left in the account when the bill was incurred, even though it comes in the next fiscal year, it's a majority vote at town meeting. But since there wasn't enough money, that's what makes it the 9/10.
Correct.
I just wanted to ask that question. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any additional comment? Okay, seeing none, let's vote on the motion. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously to support as written. Article 3. This is a transfer for the sum of $1,655,719 from the Road Stabilization Fund to the Improvement Capital Expenditures Fund.
Yep, so this is a standard article that we do every fall. This is just moving the money that we raised from your two excluded accounts, your road improvement and your capital improvement, right? Yeah,
Just road improvement.
I think it's road improvement. Oh yeah, to the capital improvement.
To the
Yes, thank you.
capital.
Sorry about that.
Do I hear a motion to?
I move to support Article 3
Second.
as written.
We have a motion and a second to support as written. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none? Do you want to say something, Skip? Okay, seeing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
And that motion passes unanimously. Beautiful. On to number 4. This is to transfer free cash, $100,000 for funding the field data collection engineering services for the Merriam Road culvert replacement.
Yep.
Move, move we support the article as written.
Second.
There's spaghetti on the pot.
I guess.
We gotta do it.
No.
Evan, can I ask a
We've talked
question?
about the issues
Yeah.
there.
Yes, Mark.
What's the expected cost to fix that culvert?
Yeah, the full.
Has there been any, although obviously the engineer is going to tell you that, but has there been any guesstimate at this point?
Yeah, I believe we're at about $1 million.
Okay.
I think it's technically in the sevens, but that was a year ago, so rounded up, we're, just the way things are going for us.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And Mary, this is the one we also have a grant offsetting some of the design costs?
Yes.
Do you remember the total amount for that grant we received?
William may.
It's $67,000.
Okay. So
Part of-
this is just offsetting that rest of the grant that we need to fill this up.
Great. So this is this 67 is against the 100,000, or it's
So it's a $167,000 project, and we got a grant for 67.
and who's doing this? The engineering services field data work. What vendor or?
I could pull it up, but I'd have to take this down. I think it's Tie and Bond.
Yeah, we go through the regular procurement process.
Got it.
It's either time bond or it's VHB.
Got it.
We can get you that data in just a second.
Did anyone second?
I was about to ask.
I did.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, any additional conversation on the motion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Madam Chair, it is Tie and Bond.
Thank you very much.
You're
That motion passes unanimously. Support as written. Moving right along to article number 5. This is to authorize the select board to acquire parcels of land in order for the Providence Road space. That
Would you like me to
4.47 acres. Yeah, please
speak
give me
to that?
the rundown.
Yes, so these are 3 parcels. They span between our sewer treatment plant and Fairview Cemetery. They straddle both sides of the Blackstone down that way. It is 41.47 acres. It is almost entirely in the floodway. So its use beyond open space is questionable. So we being the select board, which I'm not on, but I was in the room. So the select board entered into a purchase and sale agreement with the owner of these 3 lots to purchase the property for $450,000. I have gone to CPC. CPC has supported the project thus far. They have not taken a vote in its entirety yet because we don't have the appraisal back on the property. So because this is a just straight land sale, the town cannot purchase this land for more than the appraisal cost. So, $450,000 becomes the upper limit. If the appraisal comes back lower, then we have to renegotiate with the seller. Or the purchase and sale is nullified and they can go back out to the market.
When are you expecting the,
On or
Appraisal.
before October 10th.
I move we support this article.
Second. Will there?
Just why are we, I guess, maybe I should know, but I don't. Why do you want it? Why are we buying?
So why do you want it?
Well, I don't want it, but why does the town want it?
I don't live here, so I gotta phrase that. No, so the general intent is, so there's a lot of open space value to the property. It's right down along the river. It gives us a portion of the original Blackstone Canal. It abuts other land that's owned by the Grafton Land Trust, and so it is just basically potentially conservation land. We are going to investigate adding athletic fields. It's not impossible, but it requires further study of whether or not we can put them in the floodway.
Was there anyone else interested in purchasing this property?
So the Grafton Land Trust is the one that brought it to us. So the seller approached Grafton Land Trust, they came to us. And so we had negotiated the purchase and sale with, again, their $450,000 price tag, with the understanding that the appraisal comes in lower because it's not usable for anything else, then the town has to renegotiate that price.
So how would this work with CPC if CPC doesn't have an article on the warrant?
So we have written the article with the understanding that we will utilize the motion to designate where that money's going to come from.
Doesn't there have to be a approval on a CPC article to, or can all that be rolled together?
That can all be rolled together. So we have been working with council on just that
Okay.
question. So council crafted that in such a way that we'll be able to use the motion to do that.
So, a few years ago, I remember there was the wrong number, like the wrong dollar amount number in some CPC articles, and we had to pass over them at town meeting because you couldn't change that.
Mhm.
But you could
There's
go
no
with
number in the article,
No
Dan.
number,
Yeah,
and then you could put a number in.
correct.
The motion will have the number.
Yeah, if
Very interesting.
if it wasn't for our desire to be transparent, I would write every single article to just say a sum of money. Because then you can just change that in the motion right up until you vote on
Vote.
town meeting floor. Gives
Yeah,
you,
you know
gives
what?
you a lot of flexibility. It's not the way to. I'm not saying that's how you should do it. I'm saying that as a town administrator, that gives you the ultimate flexibility all the way up to the end. But when we know a finite number, you put it in the article and move from there.
Would we be able to have supporting maps for this showing existing parcels and all of that?
I have them.
Okay.
I have them already drawn up, and Will would have to take this down to pull up that map. So if you'd like to see them now, we can do
Greg,
that.
would you like a copy? I'll send it to you now.
I think this is something that people would have trouble visualizing
No,
this.
Yeah.
we've done. Yeah, no, we've done the work. It's in a different PowerPoint.
I have lost control. I think Amber kicked me off.
Amber's doing it. There they are. Look at those little guys.
Yeah, it goes across the river up to the Providence and Worcester Railroad. Not far, but
Right. So you'll see there's one access easement coming right along Fairview Cemetery in the south of that. And then in the north, it touches Providence Road with that little parcel that is adjacent to the sewer treatment plant. On the extreme west of this, northwest, you'll see that little pond area. That's Grafton Land Trust land. And we do own actually a parcel across the street from that on Depot Street that we may be able to use for a limited parking area to be able to access some of this.
I think it would be helpful to point out the color, the sewer treatment plant, the
Yep.
Grafton Water District, and the
Yeah,
cemetery.
for town meeting.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. This was just for the select board. And
Yeah.
most of them know where that is.
cemetery.
What are the chances the appraisal comes in higher than 450K?
I would say low, but it all.
But it wouldn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's our.
It doesn't matter. So,
ceiling,
so the way that you negotiate a purchase and sale in this particular case is that the agreed upon price becomes the high water mark.
Yeah.
So we've agreed to buy it for 450,000. But if the appraisal comes in lower, it doesn't matter if we want to pay 450. We have to go with that appraised value.
Yeah.
So, from our standpoint, we hope it comes in way lower.
What? Yeah.
Any feeling for how long they've been trying to sell this piece of land?
No, sir. Do you have a feeling, Skip?
I choose not to speculate
Okay.
at this time in public.
I just felt like you asking that question meant you already knew.
So, I have a concern about the. So it says including community preservation funds, but it doesn't say which community preservation funds. It sounds like from listening to all the conversations, it would be conservation. If the appraisal comes back and they say that some significant part of this is developable, and therefore it's worth a lot more money. I feel like then we should probably have a conversation about what is the best use. Like if, obviously like the parts around the river are going to be best used for conservation. You don't, just to like protect the water. But if there's parts that could be developed, I mean, looking at the grading there, I would be surprised if this is the case. But if the price is really high because something could be built there, I think we should consider the possibility of building something there, including possibly affordable housing. This, I'm just concerned about going forward to town meeting with, or at the very least, I'm concerned about the finance committee recommending this without knowing what the price is and without knowing if the price is affected by the land possibly being used for some other purpose.
Well, we know what our maximum exposure here is. It's $450,000, the negotiated purchase price.
Right. So, I mean, I would not support 450,000. That sounds like a lot of money for land that you can't build anything on. But
The
then also-
appraisal will fix that. Dan, the appraisal will fix that if 450 is too much money.
Yeah.
Right, but if you can build something there, I don't want to spend CPC conservation money or open space money on this when you might be able to do something else with it.
Well,
Well, at least without considering it. It sounds like this has not been considered.
Would you then suggest that we not purchase the land at all?
I mean, possibly. Depends on what comes back in the appraisal.
I'll say from my perspective as well. I mean, if nothing can be built on this land anyway, why does the town need to buy it? Does it not become self-fulfilled conservation land?
The question is, what can be built upon it is, are we talking about affordable housing or athletic fields?
Or what if
Yeah,
it can be built at all? We've just spent $450,000 on a piece of land that was never going to have anything put on it anyway.
Well, no, because if it comes back to be just strictly conservation land, what's the value for that? Was it like 39 cents a square foot or something?
It's low, yeah.
So,
But Evan, didn't you say you were going to put potential for athletic fields on there, that you're going to
Yeah,
investigate all sorts of uses that way? So
Yeah.
if the town doesn't own it, you can't do that. So if you purchase it under general municipal purposes, you can give it to conservation eventually,
Yeah.
or you can do it what you want to do on the property. I think we're making a mountain out of a molehill here,
yeah,
guys.
exactly.
So the other things to consider here are, one, this is along the proposed Blackstone bikeway. So that gives us some access there. And two, while it would maybe become default conservation land, it is not public land. So there's no public access to the property. So that's why you purchase conservation land that you want to preserve and that you want the public to have access to.
Sure.
Do we have an idea what current tax revenue is from the land?
You know what?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah, just look on the tax map and
Yeah, no, I will. I just didn't pull that up before I got here.
The value is $450,000. What do the assessors have it at? Are you taking in $100 a year on it?
Yeah.
It's not a lot of money. A
Not a
couple
lot.
$1,000.
Yeah, I was just trying to see what the value was. I couldn't remember it top of mind here.
I know that that's something that comes up every time we talk about taking land off the tax rolls. Is what is it going to cost?
We were
going
just talking about that today, in regards to taking back land for subdivisions.
yeah,
And why we might not want to be doing that, because the land again is open space by default because they didn't develop it, but also it takes it off of the tax rolls, and
Yeah.
we would have that potential.
I think we had that conversation with the one off of Adams Road for last one. Yeah.
Yep. Hold on for 1 second, just.
Can we just look at the flood map?
Yep.
So the biggest parcel of land, the current value is $40,600.
The assessed value.
Yep. It was last sold for $135,000 in 2006. The little piece of land that has frontage on Providence Road is $184,000,
Show it to me before you put it up, so I can show you.
and the other piece is $18,300 that abuts the cemetery.
The tiny little guy.
Yeah.
No, there's a 21 acre parcel that abuts the Fairview Cemetery. The one that's on Providence Road is right next to the old Farnhamsville Cemetery.
Gotcha.
And then the other one's kind of like back to the river and stuff.
So it looks to be about $15,000 tax-wise for all 47 acres.
Okay.
That's a back of the envelope calculation, just so we're clear. The flood map is also up by Miss Monk.
There's the sewage treatment plant, the old cemetery, and there's the one with the frontage, and this one, and then this one here, and the cemetery is right down here.
Okay.
See, there's the shed at the cemetery
Yeah.
in Milford Road.
Right. Thank you.
So Amber, can you zoom in a little bit? Enhance. There you go. So if you look, the light blue shading there is areas that are in the floodplain. The red and blue stripe is the federal floodway. So highly unlikely that this is going to be available for development for any kind of housing, except for maybe up along Providence Road with that most northerly parcel. I've looked at it. It's topographically pretty steep drop off right there. Amber, can you also put on the wetlands? The national inventory. Thank you. So it is right along the river. It is very flat, which is pretty interesting for, New England. But it's flat because that's where the water tends to go. Which is why you have a sewer treatment plant right there too. That's how that works. But so I think it's when I met with the select board, what I had told them is that you should consider that you're buying conservation land to preserve the land for open space and passive recreation, with the understanding that we will explore uses like athletic fields. But if they can't come to fruition, you didn't go into it thinking that that's what you were going to be able to do. And the appraisal will come back and tell us whether or not they think that lot by the road there is developable.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the warrant article not specifying which kind of community preservation funds.
Mm-hmm.
So if we use open space funds, is there a deed restriction that has to go on the land for that?
We would do a conservation restriction. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But if the land comes back, so if you look at how this is written, this gives us a lot of latitude to raise, appropriate, borrow, and transfer from available funds, include the CPC funds. So if we were to get that front lot, you would, it is developable. You want to put affordable housing there, you would just allocate money from a fund that would not restrict you in the future. Right, but we won't know what that looks like until after I get the appraisal. Because I have to go to CPC, I've got to go back to the select board, there's a lot of steps.
and so that's the thing. CPC needs to vote on supporting this, and also vote on which category of funds.
Yep.
And I just feel like there's way too many unknowns here for me to support this tonight. Like, I don't want to vote in favor of this and have the CPC vote on funds that I don't necessarily agree with. Like, I feel like there's a lot that can happen that would make me want to reconsider this. And I mean, we can reconsider it, but I just don't see why we should rush into something when we don't have all the information.
Their source of categorization of the funds has absolutely nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
if they use CPC money, that's a little line on your tax bill. Nothing to do with us.
But we're making a recommendation on the article,
Right.
so it has to do with
But
us.
if you want to argue with them where it's coming from, then go to them and argue with them.
No, we are voting on whether to recommend it or not. If they wanted to put affordable housing funds into all of these parcels, I would vote against that, right? Because like most of it is very clearly not going to be developable. Like just as a clear example.
Oh, sure. Come forward. Comment from the public?
Colleen Roy, I'm on CPC, but I'm not speaking on behalf of CPC. But I will say you guys typically don't know where the funds are coming from. Like even if it came from an undesignated fund, projects in the past aren't specified ahead of time for you guys to know that necessarily. Like you don't know where all the bond payments are coming from previously, right? Does it?
I thought we did. I
No.
thought that is.
Sometimes they do, but not always.
Not all the time.
Sometimes it's just in the motion which fund, and sometimes they don't
No,
specify at all.
I have
but
some past
there are some that
warrants up
definitely
here,
have,
and they
yeah.
they specify from the historic reserve account, from the undesignated fund balance. Yeah,
Right, so
the
that can
warrant.
go towards anything. So if it's from the undesignated fund
Yeah.
balance, then you're unrestricted. So you could,
But there needs to be a deed restriction on the land when it's acquired.
Not if you use undesignated funds.
Then there doesn't need to be.
I don't believe so.
All right.
There's restrictions on what we can do with it after.
But-
because you can't buy it with CPC money and use it for something that's not allowable by CPC in general.
Yeah.
But that's where the lion's share of the money is. I think you're close to $600,000 in
Yep.
undesignated fund
Yep.
balance.
But those warrant articles in the past have said which category of money it's coming from.
When it was a CPC sponsored article, yes, Dan, the CPC designates in their articles. This isn't a CPC article. This is an article from the select board, and Evan has given the town a lot of options in the article so that when they draft the motion, they can decide where the money's coming from. They could decide to do the 450,000 from free cash.
But
I
if it
think it's
comes
a
from
good purchase.
CPC, if it comes from CPC, CPC has to vote on where the
That's
money
right,
comes
but
from.
maybe they won't. Maybe CPC won't take it up. I think right now, and I agree with Roger. I think we're just deciding whether or not we think it's a good idea for the town to purchase. If all of a sudden they come back and they say to us, "Listen, it's going to be CPC is going to do it. They're going to take it out of their conservation bucket," and we can say, "Okay, we reconsider. We don't support that." But right now, I think it makes sense to purchase the land to give the select board options for either field use, open space, trails, whatever they want to do with it.
Any source of cash, it's any source of cash. If we want to start spending out of CPC money from one of their buckets, they have to move it at the town meeting out of their budget.
Yeah, see, I just don't see how I can vote to support any article that could possibly have some unknown restriction on what the land can be used for without knowing what that is. So I guess I just have a problem with a warrant article saying that it might use CPC funds. We don't know which one, it could be any of them. And unless I don't really care what the purpose of the land is, then I really can't.
Then you get to vote no on this motion.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I think, unless there are any further conversation, I'd like to take a vote on the motion.
I have one. Do we have an idea how much money you're looking for from CPC for this? Any kind of estimate at this point?
Up to $450,000.
Okay.
Right.
That's a great answer, Evan.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah, we weren't. The intent was not to use other funding in this, and that's why I had approached CPC. However, as we discussed earlier, if there was some component of this land that had a higher and best use that was outside of the scope of CPC, then that would be up to the select board to try to figure out how to navigate.
So you're thinking this could be fully funded by CPC?
Correct.
Okay.
And then if it did come back and there's a piece of it that was funded by free cash, we then have to reapprove that amount, or does the select board have the authority to say $100,000, making this up, of that?
The motion will have the allocation in it, Kyle.
Okay.
That hasn't been decided yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just double checking.
we would
Yeah,
vote
so
on
this
it,
is
vote on it.
obviously an atypical warrant article to how we normally do it. And we're doing that because of the time constraint that we're under. So
Yep.
if we don't vote on this on the 20th, the purchase and sale is,
Goes by the wayside.
no.
It expires.
Right. So it's a much different process than, doing a chapter 61A right of first refusal or something. It's just different.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so with that, let's vote on the motion that has been on the table and has been seconded, which is to support Article 5 as written. Mark,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Dan,
Nay.
Victoria says aye, Kyle,
Aye.
Skip,
Yes.
Samir.
Yes.
That motion passes 8-1. So we will indicate that in our recommendation blurb.
You mean 7-1, right? There's only 8 of us here.
Wow, thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, I
That would be for the clerk to decide.
checked me.
Oh, so yeah,
Report
Samir,
to
you
the
need to
vote.
pay attention to the vote
Count
counts,
for
guy.
me?
I was writing things down. But I don't know if I counted the number of
You
people.
forgot to count it. Yes, samesies. All right, Article 6.
All right.
Article 6 is once again asking to take control of 2 parcels of land. These are the 27 Milford Road parcels.
Yeah, so the town actually already owns these parcels. These were taken or accepted by town meeting in 1996, but they were not designated for any specific use. And so what we've been trying to do is go through all the town land that is owned that has not been identified for whatever use and record it properly, right? So if it was supposed to be conservation land and just never got recorded over the decades as conservation land, we're fixing that. This is one of those times. So we did receive feedback from the Open Space and Recreation Commission or committee that they believe that this should be put into care of the Conservation Commission. We did go back and review everything from 1996. It's not very detailed and does not give a use in the motion or the article as written. So what we've done is a little micro study to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and not putting this land into conservation if it had a different use. Can you put up the heat map? So this is a heat map of the parcels that we're looking at. If you look at the southwest corner, you will note there is red and dark red as well as green. What that denotes is a large section of ledge where the driveway would need to be for this access, as well as grades exceeding 25% or 25-degree inclination. So it's very steep and it's very rocky. Once you get up to the top, it is still pretty hilly, but not as bad as trying to get up there. You show up the adjacent land map. So this map shows the green is what's already owned by town. That's Hassamanessa Woods. The yellow is Grafton Land Trust land, and the red would be these parcels. So it is contiguous with a whole bunch of other conservation property. And I believe that the intent of taking this as one of the conversations we had about the subdivision gift to the town was to make this as a contiguous part of the other conservation land that is there. There's also one other parcel that's not lit up here on Milford Road.
I was going to ask that question.
It's
I
the-
thought that was what we were talking about.
So that's Milford Road dump. So we're not talking about that at all. We're gonna just leave that alone in the
And
woods.
be careful.
No, we're not
The
going.
little wedge that goes over there.
Yeah,
About staying away from that.
fantastic. So we're not gonna do any development in there. That's not the plan. The plan is to just put this into conservation, and you might have, a hiking trail that comes from the north there and then all the way down out. And then you could just hop over Milford Road and you'd be at the land we were just talking about purchasing is right there as well. So again, just that kind of greenway idea, but
Move to approve the article as presented.
Second.
We have a
Oh.
motion.
No,
we have any
I'm going to withdraw
additional-
my second.
Oh, second has been withdrawn.
I'll second.
Thank you.
So this is care, custody, management, and control. So it will still be owned by the town, but the Conservation Commission manages it.
Yeah.
Does it actually apply any deed restrictions that aren't already there?
Yes,
Or-
so we would record it as conservation land.
Okay.
We would then, do the whole conservation restriction component and all the rest of it, so that it stays conservation in
And
perpetuity.
does that need to be part of the motion?
It does not.
The town can just do that on its.
Yeah, so it's been a whole chicken egg
Yeah.
thing with council for trying, because we're just trying to create a process by which we can do this repeatedly.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of it that's not recorded, and it just sits as town land, but no one's really specified what we're gonna do with it.
I mean, that's like behind my house, and there's tons of trails with markers. I mean, don't they already do something back there?
So yes, there's already some stuff back there. Yes.
Okay. I thought so, because I mean, I've walked there since I was here, since I've moved here, so.
There's definitely stuff that comes off Hassamanessa Woods into that area,
Mhm.
but this would make it all.
A little more formal.
It just puts it under. It just makes it so conservation manages it. That's that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
Is saying yeah, we agree this is conservation, and they're gonna manage it.
Yeah, I walked out of the woods after an Eagle project into one of those developments that was just being built off Hood Road once.
So there's no conservation restriction on it
Currently,
right now?
no.
So, and this would it put a restriction on the?
We can put a conservation restriction.
Like within this article, you can.
Well,
or-
I don't believe I need the article to say that. Once it's under the care.
You
and custody-
don't, the Conservation
Right.
Commission would do that once you give it
Yeah,
under their
they
care
make-
and
they make
control.
the rules.
Well, right, because
They're
I'm thinking
managing.
like one of the benefits is like if neighbors are dumping, their yard waste into the conservation land, like they can stop them.
Right.
So
Well, the town can do that now.
yeah, I guess so because it's town owned land, but then it's also like a violation of the conservation.
Yeah, so this gives them all the authority to do those things that they see fit to make sure it stays conservation.
Cool.
Conserved.
Perfect. Any additional conversation on?
Not from me, Madam Chair.
Love that. All right, let's take a vote on the motion. Mark,
Yes.
Heather,
Hi.
Greg,
Hi.
Dan.
Aye.
Victoria said aye. Kyle,
Aye.
Skip,
No.
Samir.
Yes.
We're
I'm just-
losing way too much upland bird habitat.
I'm just kidding, Skip.
I
don't care.
enjoyed hunting that land so much, and now it's not gonna be available anymore.
What if we make it an upland bird sanctuary?
Well, it'll be a sanctuary
The
because
Skip
the
M. Courier
first thing that's gonna happen
bird
is they'll
slaughter
say
area.
there's no hunting.
Sorry.
That motion passes 7-1 on dubious personal grounds. All right.
Hold on. I wish
does-
you'd said that during discussion because I feel like it's a valid point.
So
I might not have changed
just,
my mind, but
just to be clear,
Hey,
just
no.
because it's conservation land doesn't mean you can't hunt on it.
Exactly.
Can you hunt on town-owned land in general?
I don't want
Yes.
to talk about it.
Okay.
It's a whole different can of worms. But in theory, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You certainly can.
Yeah.
We just have
Skip
to.
obviously has been
Never mind,
illegally
never
hunting
mind,
on
right?
that for the last 20 years.
Skip Courier poacher.
No, well, since I moved, I haven't been up there. But when they built all the houses off of Milford Road, you'd be walking through the middle of. It used to be the pipeline. You walk the pipeline all up into the back of the woods and everything, but not anymore.
It's noted. Article 7.
I love this stuff.
Do you?
I really do.
Article 7. This article is authorizing us to take any easements we need to make Harding Street a public way, part of the Making Private Streets Public Streets mission.
Yes. So this may be passed over at town meeting
Okay.
because the town did vote to take Harding Street in 1947.
Excuse me?
Wow.
Yeah. However, there's disagreement of how it was recorded. And the town's perspective since 1947 has been that this is a private way. That's what's been told to people for decades. I'm not saying it's the correct assertion. I'm just saying that's what people have been told. So, thanks to Skip and our council and our office, we've been working on this diligently. So, we've decided to leave the article here, and if we need to pass over it, we will pass over it. But if it is not a bona fide public way already, then we will proceed with this article just as written.
Has it been paved since 1947?
Yeah, Skip's shaking his head yes.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look like it's been paved in
Since 1947.
1947, yeah.
That's my question.
Right, so there was the school up there, and that shows up on the old, deeds. But there's also an interesting issue that the road is 400. The road as laid out and recorded in a document we have from 1939 shows it as 437 feet, 437.66 feet long. But the warrant article has the town vote for 347 feet, so they typoed it as well. So that all complicates it. I did ask council, do we really need to do this much digging, or can we just vote to make it a public way with the new meets and bounds and be done with it? Because I don't want to spend all this money on council to answer a question that, happened in the 40s.
So what did he say about the vote in, was it 81?
Yeah, I don't have everything back on this yet.
Okay, okay.
So he's reviewing that currently.
Should we defer until town meeting then, Evan? Or do you want us to take a position tonight?
I would
You can,
have a difficult time voting
yeah, you can
either
defer.
way on this one.
Yeah, I move we defer decision or defer recommendation to town meeting.
Second.
I think we're charged with making a recommendation so that we.
We will
write-
at town meeting.
write-
I'm
write the
deferring
blurb.
till town meeting.
We have done this in the past. It's nothing. We did this at the last meeting.
Yeah, and I'll just make the recommendation at town meeting. All right, motion to defer our recommendation until town meeting when we have more information from council. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria, aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
Perfect, that motion passes. Yes,
Just
sir.
like to say, this is what I would have preferred for Article 5 about the, but
You're like a dog with a bone tonight there, Dan.
no,
With that article.
I don't see a reason to rush. Just like I don't see a reason to rush for that one. We don't have all the information for either one.
We have enough information to make a decision on that article. The selectmen negotiated a purchase and sale agreement for $450,000. In my opinion, it's worthy of that purchase regardless of where the money comes from. That's why I made the motion to support.
Second motion.
Fair, and I believe that is complete. Okay, Article 8. This is easements for Faulkner Road.
Yep, this has none of the issues with the previous road. So this is definitely not a public way. We have the layout, and we'd like to move forward with making it a public.
Move to support the articles
Second.
presented.
Motion and seconded. Any further discussion?
So was this something that we started the process at a previous town meeting?
Yes, so not at a previous town meeting, so select board
Okay.
under what is it, chapter 81, they vote to order the DPW to create a layout, and then we
Okay.
bring it to town meeting once we have the layout.
I just have a curiosity question. Because it's not a public way, do we plow it?
We do.
Okay, I was just
And we
curious.
have done some minor road repairs over the years to make sure that it's accessible for fire, ambulance, and whatever else we need to do in there.
Public safety.
Yeah, public safety, great.
Excellent. Let's vote on the motion. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria is aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously to support as written. That brings us to Article 9. This is the vote to accept the Town of Grafton Master Plan, which we completed. Oh, goodness. Was it March? Was it May? Was it May that we approved?
Your master planner Fiona is online. She might have that information.
Hopefully.
I was there, but you'd think I'd remember.
I'm not answering because I don't remember. That's why I defer to.
I
Master
know. I
Planner
think
Fiona.
Colleen's right. I think it was May. Fiona, hello. How are you this evening?
Hello, I'm well. Hi, members of the committee. Thank you for having me this evening and giving me the ability to discuss this. So the master plan working group wrapped up in, I believe it was late May, and then this planning board voted to approve the master plan per MGL Chapter 41 at their meeting on June 17th. And then they took another vote at a subsequent meeting in July to place this article on the warrant. And the purpose of this is to garner more townwide support for the plan and offer additional opportunities for people to provide feedback during the implementation phase. Just a point of clarification that when the plan is approved by the planning board per Mass General Law, it is already in effect, but the board wanted to take an extra step and include this in the town meeting process.
Move to support the articles presented.
Second, seeing as how we have no option anyways.
So does that, so what you're saying is that however which way this article is voted,
Doesn't mean anything.
it's already been approved by the planning board and therefore is in effect.
Yes, that's correct. But a lot of communities do take this extra step, and I think one of the key things we'll be looking for is feedback from town meeting to address during the implementation. So that's kind of the main goal.
So will there be a presentation on the master plan during the meeting? Is that what you expect?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks, Greg. Yes, Dave Robbins will be presenting on my behalf.
Okay.
And we should have we are examining the possibility of having a handout as well.
And has the approved master plan already been published on the website for people to review beforehand?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, great. Any further discussion?
I think that information would be useful to include when we publish the warrant article descriptions.
Sure.
Greg just volunteered to write our recommendation there, Victoria. I don't know if you picked up on that.
I heard that loud and clear.
Yeah, she's picking up stuff like that, Mark.
Yeah, we just need to get all that information from William. So.
This deflection is masterful. All right, seeing no further discussion, motion is to support as written. Mark.
Yes.
Heather. Greg.
Aye.
Dan.
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle.
Aye.
Kip.
Aye.
Samir.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. Support as written. And Fiona, as long as we have you, I believe Article 10, amendments to the zoning bylaws, we would also love your rundown here.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. So this the proposed changes to the zoning bylaw are to bring the town into compliance with the Affordable Homes Act, which was signed into law in 2024. I'm sorry, became into effect and is officially the law as of February 2nd, 2025. So Grafton does not have a local ADU bylaw. We do have limited provisions for accessory apartments, which are not the same as what is covered in this law. The proposed changes that we are suggesting here are very limited because, again, the law is in effect and we don't want to basically regurgitate the law in the zoning bylaw. Just a quick, a summary of the changes, which will primarily include changes to the definitions, particularly what a protected use ADU is, which is the main subject of the law. Adding a subsection 5.13 just to add some additional details and provide clarity on what the town has discretion over, which is quite frankly limited under the law. The main things that the town can control really is if you wanted to enforce more flexible dimensional standards, which the board is not doing here. It's going to be the same setback area, etc., as typically allowed for a single family home. The protected use ADUs that meet that definition will be allowed by site plan approval, which is essentially by right if you meet the minimum dimensional standards. These will not protected use ADUs will not be allowed to become short-term rentals, which is something that the town has control over. The town does not have a short-term rental bylaw and is not interested in that. And lastly, the board did agree to allow a second protected use ADU on a lot via special permit. So that's kind of that's the reason why that section 5.13 is there, to just provide that elaboration. But the rest of it is, like, quite frankly, pretty much standard language from the model zoning bylaw that came out. We did not want to try and get too creative because the AG's office and EOHLC have been very clear, like, the law is the law and don't stray from the law, and that's what we're trying to accomplish here. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I know it's a kind of complicated. I'm trying to give a high-level overview of this topic.
So on the short-term rental topic,
Mm-hmm.
is there currently a bylaw preventing the primary use used as a short-term rental, or will this restriction only apply to the protected use ADU?
As presented, it will only apply to the protected use ADU, but the town does not allow short-term rentals, even if it was the primary dwelling.
So there is already a bylaw preventing preventing short-term rentals of other structures, or is it is this restriction solely for the new ADUs?
It's solely for the new ADUs. That was something that the law provided flexibility for towns to do, so to prevent them being basically Airbnb'd out.
Okay, so someone could have their primary structure be an Airbnb, but not, and then use the protected ADU themselves. It would have to be something like that.
Supposed to be accessory to the principal. We don't allow, my understanding after talking with the building commissioners, we do not allow short-term rentals of principal dwellings or accessory dwellings of any kind. So I don't think that would be feasible, I think, if I'm understanding your question correctly.
Okay, well, I thought you had just said that we did allow short-term rentals of the primary structure. That's
No short-term rentals in Grafton, no.
okay.
Sorry.
4.2.2 off-street parking schedule.
Mhm.
The no parking required within half mile of commuter rail, subway station, ferry terminal, or bus station. Is this the mentioning subway station, ferry terminal, and bus station because that's something that the state requires, or is that just in case we suddenly get a ferry terminal?
Yeah, I thought it was I guess we kind of had an abundance of caution, we included it. The issue came from the regs saying kind of public transit station, and then when the draft regulations came out, it was kind of general public transit, and then people were asking, what does that mean specifically? So we thought, okay, with we have Worcester Regional Transit Authority here, we have the commuter rail, if anything else changes, at least we're encompassing everything.
Okay.
Ferry won't be happening anytime soon, but
I mean, those properties from Article 5, put a ferry station right there on Blackstone. Okay, no, I'm kidding. All right.
I hate to say it, but my mind went right to that too.
I have a real thing. Under the Appendix A 3.2.3.1 use regulation schedule, it's the page with the number 8 at the bottom. So number 17, more than one protected use ADU. So would that allow like a third or a fourth or etc.?
a second. So you're entitled to have one protected use ADU as an accessory to a principal dwelling on a lot. You are entitled to that, subject to site plan approval, which if you meet the minimum dimensional standards, you get it. The planning board cannot vote no if that is the case. So it's essentially by right. You can get a second on the same lot with a special permit.
So the wording of more than one and would not then allow a third?
The third is more than one.
I had that same kind of hang up there. The
Good
way it's
catch.
worded, it looks like you can put two if you have a principal structure that contains one. You can put 2, 3, or 4, but you can't put one.
It's
So I think that would be more as one detached principal use ADU on a lot with a principal dwelling that already contains one other protected use ADU.
I think, yeah, we may need to consider a floor amendment to say special permit for a second and clarify that language, just so people can understand that it's the intention is not to allow, 3, 4 plus.
Limitless ADUs. I mean, I personally would
Yes.
support, allowing more, but I would be worried that the whole thing would get voted down if people are too worried about, limitless ADUs.
Are we trying to micro read just this one part is standing on its own?
No.
Because of what, this is just an addition to what the state has kind of dictated to us. Much like the planning board did to us, we're voting to support something that it really doesn't matter whether we do or not, because it's already the rule of the land. The state's adopted this, and we're just making our stuff fit in with the state's.
So actually, that was going to be my other question was what exactly would be different if this is voted down? Like what pieces of this would then not apply?
So we wouldn't be able to have any control over these turning into short-term rentals. The planning board wouldn't have any site plan approval oversight prior to filing for a building permit, which is preferable. And obviously, there would be no permitting pathway in place for a second. The kind of standard, the parking requirements, the definitions, and that type of thing. That wouldn't change. But whatever the town can exercise discretion over, we wouldn't be able to do that because we don't have local zoning to state that we have that ability.
So I think having a slide that lists those things for people would help a lot to make sure that people understand that, like, if they're opposed to ADUs, voting this down is not necessarily in their, the interest of reducing ADUs. Like, I feel like it's that having a slide that actually spells all that out would really help to get across that this is not a debate over whether to allow ADUs.
It's just how to allow them under the state law.
Right.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah, I do have a slide deck prepared with that information, so I will make sure to send that to Dawn and William for town meeting as well. So
I think with that piece of clarity,
Move to approve the articles presented.
Second.
perfect. That's exactly where I was headed, Mark. Any further discussion? Seeing none, vote on the motion. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously to support the article as written.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Fiona. Have a wonderful evening.
Too. Bye-bye.
And now on to Article 11, where we have a guest speaker. Please, everyone, welcome Dr. Cummings. Yeah, that's right. Pause. How are you this evening?
I'm very good. Thank you guys very, very much for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming.
Want me to give just a quick summary?
Please do.
Okay. Through a grant that was secured by Evan and William last year in the spring of 2025, all of our school roofs were assessed. I shared with you the thrilling 150-page report. It did not, on that full assessment, it included no surprises. The Grafton Middle School, so our current middle school, former high school, is 62 years old and is in dire need of replacement. As a town, nobody's fault, but we've delayed replacement for literally decades. So this warrant article is the first step in getting that roof replaced. The warrant article will cover costs of the roof design. If approved, we'd have to go out to bid. So this is just a ballpark figure that's well informed. We'd go out to bid for that. If it was approved, the design work is approved, we can then apply for MSBA funding in January. The MSBA, as you may recall, used to do an annual, I think it was the Green Roof and Window Repair Program. Years ago, we tried to get new roofs for, I think the reimbursement was 51 cents on the dollar for North Street. It ended up getting voted down, but that was that program. They've scrapped that program, and now the MSBA every other year has a funding program for school roofs. It's super competitive, so I can't guarantee that we'd get it, but I guarantee, I'm 100% positive we desperately need an entirely new roof. It just cannot wait. So if this is approved, we can apply for the funding in January. Ideally, I don't know their exact timeline, but they're certainly keenly aware of the need to respond to bidders so that they can go to Springtown meeting and take action. So that's kind of the thinking behind the warrant article before you. And I can
Move to approve the articles presented.
Second.
So, do we have to start the design before we can apply, or do we just have to have approved spending the money for the design?
Correct. That's my understanding. Correct.
So if we approve the money and we go for the grant and we don't get anything, do we still go forward with the design, or?
Any way we slice it, whether we get MSBA funding or not, the town has to move forward.
Okay.
I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the report. I isolated for you the GMS part, but it couldn't have been outlined more clearly.
Very
So
clear.
I certainly hope we get the
That
MSBA
roof is
funding.
horrendous.
Yeah.
You
And
gotta
it
do
has
something.
been
with it.
literally for decades.
So the idea is we spend this money, that'll tell us how much more we have to spend, and hopefully by starting the process now, we can get the state to cover some of the funds. Some of it.
Again, ideally, and it's a super competitive.
Yep.
There isn't a superintendent I talked to where their roofs aren't the Achilles heel. It just isn't. So ideally, we move forward, have it approved, and by the Springtown meeting, put that before the town.
So the goal is to have a design, or at least enough of a design to have a cost.
Yeah, they're really
for
looking
spring.
for a commitment from towns,
Okay.
not just I randomly am
Yep.
putting in for a bid for a roof.
I recall it being a requirement to have this vote in from the town before the MSBA will
That's
even
correct.
look at
Yep.
your funding.
You really, it
Yeah,
makes
if you,
sense.
if you don't have the design done, you're gonna be way down the bottom anyway, so we
That's
gotta get it and get
Yeah.
it in there and get it.
Any way you slice it, it's gotta be done.
That's right.
And
So Jay, does the design have, I'm sorry, I think you said this already, but the design doesn't have to physically be done. It's just we have to be able to vote that we will.
Correct. Yep.
Fund.
There's money allocated. The bidding process can take some time. They want to see the commitment from
The commitment.
the town. Yeah.
Yeah, I went through this process 6 or 7 years ago, and maybe it was a little different, but they did rank you higher if you had a completed design. So
Yeah.
the first hurdle is identifying that you have a funding source for it, but if you want to be competitive, you really need to have a design because they want it to be, shovel ready, and before they put any money at it.
If approved, we've done a ridiculous amount of work with the help of William and Evan on this already. We will be ready to go out to bid the day after town meeting, if it's approved.
Samir, you had another.
just on the MSBA funding, like how do they determine like the amount that they would fund? Are there various categories based on need of the town?
I'm
I
gonna
know
have
you
to get
mentioned,
back
like,
to you on
50
the
cents
specifics
something
of it.
before.
Generally, it's been, I think, in the reading I did, and I'll find out the specifics. Obviously, they've got this pool of money dedicated to school roofs, and a lot of it's based on how many applicants they get. Historically, it used to be 51 to 53 cents on the dollar you'd get back.
Thank you.
Any additional comments, questions? Great, let's vote on the motion to support the article as written as our recommendation. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
That motion passes unitimously. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you so much for
Cummings.
having
Really
me. I
appreciate it.
appreciate it, and thank you for the support.
Anytime. That brings us to our last article for this relatively short fall town meeting warrant. Article 12. This is a citizen's petition. Will you give us any
Sure.
context?
Sir, the citizens petition, the petitioner came to the select board meeting last night, and after talking to the board, stated that they are going to withdraw this article for town meeting. We have not received anything official from them withdrawing it, but that is our understanding that's imminent. So,
I was
Move to pass over this article?
what's that?
I wasn't aware there was a procedure for withdrawing an article. Or were we just talking about passing it over?
They're gonna withdraw it and not come and make a motion on town meeting floor. So what will happen is she'll just call the vote, no one will make a motion, and then it
That'll be that.
Cool.
Yep.
Second.
What was the motion?
To pass over.
And a second. Any additional conversation on the motion? Hearing none. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. We will be passing over.
Just put in
Move
the
to
blurb
close
that
the
they-
public hearing.
Second.
Second. Thank you for staying with us, Mark, by the way.
I'm having a grand old time.
Oh, you poor guy. All right.
You're getting redder as we're going along.
All right. We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Nice.
That motion passes unanimously. The public hearing is closed for the town warrant. Perfect. Thank you all so much. So just a couple of other housekeeping pieces before we adjourn for the evening. Mark, if you could hang with us for just
I will.
a couple more seconds. Thank you, sir. We have a few reserve fund transfer requests.
Do we need to do recommendations first?
You already, sorry.
Oh yeah, we stopped doing the recommendations partway through. Probably when I made a big deal about Article 5.
Well, we didn't talk about the recommendations. We just voted.
Up or down?
Let me ask a question. Doesn't Amber usually give us a rough draft on a summary
Yeah.
that we can play around with? Am I putting pressure on Amber?
No, not at all.
Amber, that's nice of Evan to volunteer you, but that's
Yeah, I can do that.
awesome.
It's usually the spring ones where we always have
Yeah.
the canned blurbs.
Yeah. These aren't.
I can take a
Like,
stab at these if you'd like me to.
So
No,
there's a
you're-
couple that are
you're right.
would be
I took-
canned because they're typical things.
Like the easement
The-
pieces.
The sort of the easements, the
Yeah, the public ways we've done before, right?
yeah,
And Greg volunteered to write the master plan one already.
yeah.
And
Well, that
Dan's going to
depends.
write, and Dan volunteered to write the ADU one, I heard.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Article 5.
Yeah, he's
I'll write
all-
No, Dan, we're not letting you anywhere near Article 5.
No, you're right. Sorry that I did just completely. My brain said we're done with this now. All right, let's go through this then. So for the writing the recommendations, 1, 2, and 3, moving the funds. Those are all canned, in my opinion.
Agreed.
The only difference will be the one the Harvey's bill will have to put in to add the part about 9/10.
that gets done automatically.
Yeah, that'll be like it requires 9
Yeah, we-
vote. That'll be on the bottom.
So the only thing, we just mentioned that Article 1 was something that got left out of the spring town meeting.
So, just,
Well,
so can
No.
I make a suggestion?
I
If
would, I would love you to.
So we put explanations on every article anyways.
right.
We're gonna say that this was left out and the accounting error, or however we're gonna write it. So why don't you let us do the explanations and then let Amber take a stab at your recommendations, because she's been listening to all the things that you've just said and can make those into kind of a concise little recommendation.
So moved.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful idea, and I will say that one of the reasons I specifically like that is I think over a few of the last town meetings we've actually gotten kind of redundant with ourselves because the explanations are so well written, and then we kind of just say that again for another 5 sentences, and that's not helpful for anybody. So I really like this, Evan.
Okay, excellent.
So then we could do a meeting the week of the 6th for publication by the 13th.
I think that sounds wonderful.
Makes sense to me. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you, Amber.
Sorry, Amber.
We literally don't know what we would do without you. Week of the 13th. Okay, so if we're meeting the week of the 6th, let's just quickly look at our calendar since we're all here.
I can do the 8th.
I can also do the 8th.
Yep.
Works for me.
All right.
Have fun, kids.
We'll miss you, Skip.
We'll miss
I'm sure you will, like a hole in the head.
All right. It's just a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's at 7, we'll be done with cards. That's our first cards night. I can do it on the way home.
Yeah, just call in your car. All right, perfect. Okay, we
I think she froze.
Yeah, at least she froze in a happy place. Mary was laughing and then frozen.
Oh. Okay, that's fun. All right, we satisfied with that?
That's fine.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much. Thanks, Greg. Okay, so now on to the next order of business, which is indeed the reserve fund transfer requests.
I was scared for a minute because they weren't on the agenda that I had, but they're on the published ones.
So, would you like me to
Please.
speak to?
Well, since Mary froze and left us.
Yeah. So the first one, municipal center suffered some pretty catastrophic plumbing failures. We were actually closed for a couple of days.
Right.
We redid the water main from Brigham Hill Road into the building. Redid all of the plumbing in that localized area, and then did rebuilt all of the toilets and sinks in the building. So we had our pressure regulator failed. We spiked the building up to 168 psi, which made all the toilets fail. And it was a big thing. And then we found out that we couldn't turn any of the water off because the valves are this original from the building. They're all 4-inch mains. And you can't then we couldn't get a 4-inch main for 30 days. It was a whole thing. So what we wound up doing is pulling a new main through the old main. We reduced the size because we're not a school anymore. We don't have 500 kids using the bathroom at the same time. So it's not really the same flow requirement. And then we fixed it. But we don't have enough money to get me to the end of the year with the maintenance budget that we have.
We have $75,000 in the reserve fund,
Yes,
and this is for what, 27,000?
29,127.
You got to do it. Although, let me ask you this question. I hate taking that much money. That's a third of the, more than a third of the reserve fund at one meeting and at one fell swoop. Would it make sense to have an article on the warrant to do a transfer into that account from free cash, since your free cash position is so high? Or do you want to do the reserve fund? What's your pleasure?
We wanted to do the reserve fund, and then we can make a transfer for the reserve fund later if we had to.
Okay.
6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah, I got you. You're right. I move to approve this reserve fund transfer as presented.
Second.
The reserve fund as presented has been, the motion is to approve and has been seconded. Any additional conversation? Hearing none. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. We will sign off on this transfer of funds, and then there is a second one, yes?
Yes.
Much less money.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
little
so
less-
Mary's
little less
requesting
painful.
a $801 transfer. We added an insert into third quarter billing to try to help stem some of the confusion that we have, that we went from quarterly billing to biannual.
So that that extra insert would put that line over by the end of the year.
Correct. Yeah, that's very.
Move to approve.
funded.
Second.
Any additional conversation on the motion? Hearing none. Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Tori says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Alright.
That motion passes.
We should fund that with money for the interest money and stuff for people being late. Because we did an inadequate explanation.
Because people were confused.
Yeah.
So we pay for the confusion
With the-
suffers with the confusion money.
Yes.
I mean, it's circuitous and I love
Your
it.
brain, Skip. Incredible.
All right. Next piece of discussion is attendance at the annual ATFC meeting. Samir, this is sort of the gathering of the Massachusetts Municipal Finance Committee members. Every year they meet. Usually it's at the Sharon. It's in Sharon. I personally found it super helpful my first year. You get an opportunity to network and meet with folks, and the town will pay for you to go. So I highly recommend as a first year you go, but of course it's up to you if you're not available or what have you. No pressure.
It's in Alaska this year.
And if anyone else would like to go, of
I've always
course.
wanted to go to Alaska.
It's in Juneau.
I went a couple years ago. It was very good. I haven't been able to go the last couple years. I don't. Do we have the date? I found it. and then-
October
18th.
18th from 9 to
Okay.
2.
Yes.
I think first year finance committee members, it really is helpful because it really does kind of lay out a lot. And then when I went, they had like little breakout sessions. I don't know that they have that, but
Yeah, there were 4 sessions.
oh yeah, the
You could
workshops.
do
Yeah, and the
two of them.
workshops are good if you can choose what most interests you. So
Yeah, I know one of them was on Prop 2.5
Yep.
overrides.
Yeah. So if you'd like to go, just let Amber know.
Yep, definitely. I would be very interested in going.
Excellent.
So we do not have to approve anything for that, do we?
Just a conversation, discussion to remind us that it's occurring and that we should take advantage of it if we would like. Very last thing. I believe we have 3 sets of minutes to approve.
I move we accept the minutes for May 1st, May 12th, and June 17th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second on approving the meeting minutes from those 3 dates. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mark?
Yes.
Heather?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Victoria says aye. Kyle?
Aye.
Skip?
Aye.
Samir?
Alright.
That motion passes unanimously. Those meeting minutes are finished. And thank you, Amber, for scrambling to get those after the town clerk told us that we were late. It's also sort of my fault. So really appreciate that. Okay, I think any further conversation for this beautiful Wednesday evening?
I want to talk about Article 5 again. Is that,
No.
I want
night, Mark.
I
Good
want
night.
to disagree with you.
Good night,
about
everyone.
Article 5 again.
The meeting
Bye.
is adjourned. Good evening, everyone. We'll see you on the 6th.